Hey, so I had an idea a little while ago to do a podcast series for you with little card readings from my belief balance deck and like a little energetic balance every day for a week. And I'm doing it now and I'm so excited. Now, I will preface this by saying I'm not going to edit this with the podcast beginning and end because I am doing this in a big batch recording so that it's all like just done and easy. And literally, just because I can't be bothered to edit 7 podcast episodes in a day, I'm just not going to. And I know you won't mind. So there'll be no like pre-recorded intro, outro. It's just going to be me. And what we're going to do is over the next 7 days, I am going to create a goal for you. So a kinesiology goal is essentially a very powerful intention, a belief that you want to become more aligned with, become more congruent with, and believe even 1% more today than you did yesterday, or now than you did, of the end of the episode before you did it at the start. And then we find a block, something that's kind of getting in the way of you feeling that way in that 1% more, that 5%, that 10% more, something that feels like it needs to be processed, healed, released for it to feel possible for you to connect with the energy of that intention, that goal, to feel closer to it and to take those really clear and calm next steps. And so it might mostly just be a card that I pull. I'll bring in some little NLP processes over the next few days. I've got my kinesiology kit next to me with all my tools and resources. So if a point comes up to tap, rub, hold, if there's another essence, a card, another emotion, or something from a different resource that I use with my clients, that will come up too. And also just my coaching. So the business coaching and strategy pieces, other things that drop in. So we can do this every day for a week. I can't wait. And I started to write out all the goals I wanted to move you through. And then after 2, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to I'm going to do the first balance, like the first episode, so that it actually leaves room, because often when I do this, new ideas or new insights will drop in, because I'm also clearing my own energy when I'm doing a balance like this. So I thought I'll just start with the first one. And then as I do the first one, the rest of the goals will come up for us to align with. So I'm really excited. So if you want to set an intention for the next week, something you want to create in your business. Maybe there's, you want to sign another client. Maybe you want to there's an income goal. Maybe you are working on a new project and you want to work towards that and feel like a sense of completion with it. Whatever comes to you, you can take a moment to set that intention. And then I would love for you to, so here's the first, actually, before I get you to do that, here's the goal that we're going to align with today. So you can give your body a little shake. Take a deep breath. Here's the goal. I trust my next client is right here and ready to say yes to working with me. So before we do this balance, I would love you to rate out of 10 how aligned you feel with that goal being true. So 10 being like, yeah, obviously, like, of course. And 1 being like, absolutely not. I do not trust my next client is right here. So I'm going to shake that out for you. Rate yourself out of 10. How congruent do you feel in relation to that goal? If you have another moment, or if you have the chance, what you could do now, totally optional, is have a look, and for every, let's say you're not a 10 out of 10, which is totally fine. I mean, babe, you're a 10 out of 10. What I mean is, let's say you don't feel 100% aligned to this. What you can do is for every number that you're not at the 10, so let's say you're at a 7, you might be like, okay, what are 3 big reasons why I'm not feeling this 10? It's not always 3, it's not always perfect, but sometimes you might be like, here are all the reasons why I don't feel like I'm at this 10, and sometimes it does relate to how many digits you're away from the 10, if that makes sense. Alrighty, so here is the first card I'm going to pull, and sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but I actually just paused while I pulled it, so you didn't hear the shuffle. But I don't know why, because I always shuffle and no one minds. 2 cards are here. So heaviness and perfectionism. So straight away, that something might come to you there. If you have the cards at home, it's card 26 and 48. And heaviness is in the fire element, triple warmer meridian. And fire is relating to transformation, passion, joy. It's our expansion, our love for what we're doing. It's our ability to receive and to give without burnout. Triple warmer is circulates energy through our body, supports digestion, fluid balance, helps control our fight or flight response, and it intuitively gauges the heat or energy of a room, so like the vibe of a room, which means it can also help you create the vibe in your business that you desire. It can support you to move out of fight and flight zone when you want to sign a client and maybe you're feeling a pressure or heaviness and perfectionism. So, so good. So here are some prompts for heaviness. What is feeling heavy? So if we look at you trusting your next client is right here. Where is there a heaviness there? How can you shift this heaviness? And I'm going to say shifting it is going to be done through the next card, which is releasing perfectionism. And what would lightness feel like? How can you create or call this in? So I'm going to just quickly move into the perfectionism cards that we can, because they're definitely obviously related in this moment. So metal element and lung meridian. Metal relates to our process of refinement and release, purification and elimination. It supports the separation of pure and impure, and helps direct our resources, so our internal resources, such as our thoughts and our self-talk. It speaks to guilt, grief, regret, perfectionism, as well as completion, finishing touches, and final adjustments. It can either be used to clear away confusion and chaos, or to criticize ourselves or others and to separate ourselves. It asks, are you judging yourself harshly, or are you using healthy judgment to make clear decisions for yourself? And then it's in lung. Lung is where this anger, resentment, bitterness can reside, as well as our ability to take a deep breath and exhale and release. It says if there's an imbalance here, we can sometimes feel tired and like we can't receive enough. And it also relates to the energetics of the nose in relation to smell and our ability to, in air quotes, follow our nose, which, really means following our instinct and supporting us to make really supportive decisions. And then this perfectionism is, where is perfectionism coming into play for you? What is this current energy of perfectionism impacting? What would good enough look like for you? What would it make space for? And can you forgive yourself for not being perfect? What does this look and feel like? And what does it create space for? So, drum roll please, if we work with these emotions together, we release heaviness by releasing perfectionism in relation to trusting that your next client is in your orbit, is right here and ready to sign up with you and say yes. We can look at that from firstly, now you can take this deep breath, right? Think of this deep breath is coming from the energy of releasing perfectionism. It's in the lung area, which is also right near the fire. Okay, so triple warmer is like all through circulation, but like fire can also just think of heart energy. So all like chest, heart, lung vibe. And when you release perfectionism, you kind of automatically release heaviness. Feels like kind of a perfect match, right? This specifically is talking about like the way I feel into this, and what's dropping in is it feels specific about where are you telling yourself that things aren't perfect enough for you to sign your next client? Oh, my welcome email isn't perfect enough, and my sales page isn't perfect enough, and my marketing isn't perfect enough, and this isn't done the way I think it should be, and this isn't the way it needs to be, and like just so many elements that you're telling yourself, or places where you're telling yourself it's not good enough. And that's something that I've certainly in my business had to, within myself, had to work on over the years of like, this is good enough. This is perfect enough. This is enough for my next client to say yes to. And so I think that there's something just so beautiful about playing with these emotions and releasing them together. So I want you to take a moment to just think of one area in your business where you might not even be consciously aware of it, right? Like you might just say to yourself, no, that's just my personal standard. That's just how I do things. And I really honor you for that. And also, can you give yourself the benefit of saying this is good enough for today? This is good enough for my next client to say yes to me. So I want you to choose one area of your business right now where you can, it doesn't mean you aren't going to finish something, right? Like metal and lung is about completion, well, metal at least. So yes, go and finish something. Like you don't want to send a half done welcome email. And if your sales page for an offer is actually not finished, like, yeah, go finish it. And then get to that place where you're like, this is good enough. This is actually good enough. And I am going to believe that with, another 1%, 5%, 10% of my, like energetically than I did yesterday. You don't have to be at 100%. We're just bringing that belief up. We're bringing that congruence up. So you're going to think of one place where you can release perfectionism in your business. And I want you to think of one place where you can create some more lightness. What do you need to release, shift, do, not do, that's going to shift some heaviness? So we're moving into enoughness and lightness. And that is going to support you to bring in this next beautiful client who's in your orbit. So I would love for you to do this. Close your eyes for a moment if you can, or if you're walking or driving, definitely keep your eyes open, but just like have this visualization going in your head as well. I want you to see yourself in your, like through your own eyes, sitting at your desk or wherever you do your work. And there's this just beautiful enoughness energy flowing through you. And the self-talk that you have is really you're being your own cheer squad. You have a cheer squad of yourself cheering you on and telling you that it is enough, it is complete, it is perfect as it is. And you feel this lightness wash over your body. Remember, you're looking at everything through your own eyes. And just stay with that visualization for a moment, for as long as you want. I'm going to close off this episode, but I want you to stay there for as long as you want. And then within that, when you finish, just going to think of one thing you can do today. So remember, I gave you that piece of like, what's one thing you can do with the enoughness? What's one thing you can do to create more lightness? So you're going to get those answers now. And then just stay in that visualization for as long as you want. And I will see you tomorrow or soon if you are binge listening. I'm batch recording, you're binge listening potentially on the next episode. So stay there for as long as you want, seeing yourself in your own eyes. So good. And I'll see you really soon.